Hi there, neighbor. Welcome to the city. Cool, you're still in time to see the sights. There's still room in the tourist trap committees. All you have to do here is work nights up and down the block with your binoculars, pointing out the billions and the blights. Someone in a fanny pack is jocular, watching global banking's clip collapse. Theorists put the sexy back in secular, while hustling conglomerates for scraps. And corporate deaf poets workshop street speak, whack-oracular, yo, IMF raps! To foodie raps, that is, Glockivore chic. Ideology is always spite-specific. Prefab beats to go with your critique. Make poetry less petro and more glyphic. Readable a scrawl of city bodies fleeting, or sing world poets, faux beatific, selling your saudade to the Saudis. We'll stay behind, globbing up the global, mixing Gran Mal Kool-Aid and hot toddies, zapping off the statesman. Statements snowball, spurred by lo que nunca se traduce. Take note, this revolution's temporal lobal. I traffic ticks, then trade up for a Lucy. Altering the chemistry, no-brainer, seizuring the state. Oh, say can juicy. This anthem's mangled lyrics, darned retainer, to recite the body, to remember, to cruise the city. Lorca meets Joe Brainerd, only en mock español. Language dismembers, take me home, city blocks, I'll sing your chorus, like an accentual syllabic punk John Denver. That was redundant. Like Islamosaurus in its death throes, hamming it for points, I will not quote another word, quoth Horace. You can keep the poem that anoints, that represents, that narrates or gives voice. Find the voice that poems, that disjoints. The polis is disjointed, force and choice. Burn the apartment, but keep the complex. A less Catholic Vallejo or Joyce could write my dream with laugh track sound effects, all ragged beauty, provisional, like struggle for vision beyond pomo architects, as ugly as a technocrat's chuggle that defines us in this cyber age. Yada yada, the loyalties to juggle. Art versus community, glocal triage, translocal whatever, poetry as community. Open mic flarf lyric decoupage. The fractious promise of .com unity. E-bards, bow down before your server. The poetry of trust fund e-impunity, or jealousy thereof. Organic Gerber poetry to go down nice and smooth. Or will they listen to this dork unnerver? I can do my best to rhyme with soothe. And when I say we, I truly mean it. Only we is painful. We're a groove without a nation. We've already seen it, thanks. Besides, our nation is the laugh track. In flight, no complimentary peanuts. Confoundational, kick through the sheetrock. Analog, digital, diaspora shout out. I'm mixtaping the iPod and the 8-track. Rocking the identity cutout. Imperformalismo está la fuerza. Forgive the fitful fragments and the layout and my quirky deployment of the Terza. Quirks like us, the only us that matters, the glam glum gleam, see Kinski-era Herzog, who scans the city as it scatters, drops the props and scores this scarred propensity, the city immeasurable in meters, din of dollar stores, dustbin CDs, poems living, breathing, circulating, formal, neural, social, in high density. The poem as a difficult relating. A city, a polis, and its ticks as urgent as the day. An urgent fading. This was written in Guanica, and it's kind of a core poem for the book. I was in Guanica, which you might know is an important town politically in Puerto Rico, the site of kind of two invasions, right? The Spaniards and then the Americans in 1898. It also has great beaches and kind of dry, arid, desert beaches, which are unusual for Puerto Rico. I was there, I did not have my notepad, and I panicked. But I had just gotten a BlackBerry. Not realizing the BlackBerries were actually really crappy smartphones, right? So I started creating these poems as BlackBerry voice notes, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But this is an oral poem, and the context here is The Fall of America era, Allen Ginsberg, which I'll return to in a second. Guanica. 3:42 p.m. Thought no more than cloud. Fence, maybe, but still an opening. 3:44. Temperatura, condición actual, sway. Prior thought was green too, does not erase the marking, the scenery. 3:46. Algae is still algo. So much to consider here. Sunscape. The sky is scraped some other way now, the way it never seemed before. 3:47. Resort communities are everywhere. The ruin of this, after all. Not the marshy pools, not the clouds. Too close for this late in the day. 3:49. No pilot in these poems. Mic'd breezeway. Handheld devices giving way. This vision, this stutter. 3:52. This spot is also private property. It matters in as much as shared. Charred, made public, texted, tested, like the story of these shores. 3:54. First Columbus, then the Americans in 1898. Go global. Return to condition of meaning. Made, unmade. This waterlog, these puddles of history, and I can see for miles. 12:21. More than jetties, bridge of rock, algae, cacti, views in furious green, butterfly and gull, an easy tag team somehow. Here all makes not sense, but sentence. 12:24. Asterisk shore reminds of color, shorn and recomposed in dry, defying December, dismembering the fine print of memory. Erased. 12:56. Unresolved feeling towards the island, the coastline in slow dissolve, the moorings, where to now? The asking price is high, the expectations, these shores shared how? 103. Who let the dogs out on the beach? No woofing, please. We're far too sick for that. But healing. The foam has that effect on you. The famine of too much, too soon. Tú sabes, tú y los tuyos. The discourse of experience. I yearn for this expanse. 104. Let's contemplate expulsion from these territories. The oligarch's way is paved with seashells, bad checks, good times, stiff drinks. You know, lo usual. The unused part of the self is at the forefront here. The unseen frames the scenery. We meet again on our own terms, perhaps, or the seas. Desist. 106. The power's almost out of my apparatus. It appears I'm back to script now, back to voiced scrawl. The surplus is what scares me. The promise of unwriting led me here, a leaden one, as with all promises. Keeping on the kind of digital poetics here, I was thinking of Emily Apter's concept of netlish. I don't know if so Apter kind of sees netlish as a language of kind of our media moment, torn between its aspirations to be a lingua franca, the digital is a kind of universal language, but also is kind of unavoidably tainted, right, by its space of articulation and composition, right? So I think my Spanglish here in this book is kind of netlish in a way, and there's a lot of constraints that are built into that. So this is these are a series of palindromes, but kind of Spanglish, netlish palindromes maybe. So if I had a PowerPoint, you could see them back and forth. This is called Me O Poem, a cameo poem. Me do modem, lone AOL, el Google, emailíame mi IM, www, to do su to do us, moco.com. Ode IM sonnet, tennos miedo, easy eye, la bola, lobalize, Dell appalled, Mac.cam, Gateway, we tag. Not ebook, bet on, Laptop pot pal, Coda.doc, iTuned ode, nut I. Let nix Intel, nor elect Celeron, KO, Cafe Facebook, E.I, move on, Obama, Bono, vomit ode. 0, Prague or poor, easy. E-ricin, agro-organic ire. Viral, polar IV, online.nil.no. Goal! Blog. Tune.nut, lang signal, map spam, CCBCC, download, Yahoo, Fat C, Vista HP, B.web, crow.org, sue.us, vogue at eu.gov, as USA, num, IBM, UN, set age, Gates, soft fossil, Mike IM, do piss iPod, MP3 at 3 p.m., noon, night, get in, Dell, you dulled, E-dud dude, E-film life, rebut YouTuber, Nomad Damon, helm the HTML, if I Wi-Fi, beware, Aeroweb, reverses reverse, senor ever, server, rev, res, I'm an I, a mod domain, am I. So now invite a collaborator, Mara, will you do me the honor of helping with this piece? So this is one of a series of homophonic translations I would say that I've been doing, but actually software has been doing. Initially it was voice recognition software, first the kind that comes built in with your Windows, but now it's like a smartphone software. So what I'll do is I'll read various Latin American poets in Spanish, but set the voice recognition to English. So in fact, it'll homophonically render the poet of choice. So this is poem 2 from Vallejo's Trilce, because it's the famously brilliant book that nobody understands, right, within Latin American surrealist poetry. So what we'll do is Mara will read one line from Vallejo, and I'll do whatever the homophonic translation, the software generated. So I'm not an author here, I'm merely an editor, software editor. So poema 2 de Trilce. Cuando estés lista.
Tiempo, tiempo.
Dimple, dimple.
Mediodía estancado entre relentes.
Mint UBS Bank, island to entice.
Bomba aburrida del cuartel a chica.
Bone bubble lead on what they let chic.
Tiempo, 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 tiempo.
Dimple D and both he and opium will.
Era.
Data, data.
Gallos cancionan escarbando en vano.
Dido scans the owner is co-bundle in buying.
Boca del claro día que conjuga.
Oh, and I will be ethical too.
Era.
A data in data and data.
Mañana.
Montana.
El reposo caliente aún de ser.
They are also cutting them down and said,
Piensa el presente, guárdame para.
being such a say in the water coming out of
Mañana.
Magana.
Nombre.
Gnome, but gnome.
¿Qué se llama cuanto erízanos?
Casey Jamma, one police analyst.
Se llama lo mismo que padece.
Sing till muddle me smoke about a sick.
Nombre.
Non-gnome, but gnome, but. Thank you. Un aplauso para Mara. Gracias.